Free Palestine, free everyone. Free Palestine, free everyone. Free Palestine, free everyone. Hi, I'm Rob, and let's jump right into this. Freedom. What is freedom? Well, according to the dictionary, freedom is a noun. It is the quality or state of being free. I mean, that's okay. That doesn't give us much. All right, what's next? The absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice of action. Liberation from slavery or restraint or from the power of another. The quality or state of being exempt or released, usually from something onerous. Freedom from care. Unrestricted use. Give him the freedom of their home. Spoke the language with freedom. The quality of being frank, open, or outspoken. Answered with freedom. Improper familiarity. Boldness of conception or execution. And there's the last one, a political right. So, where are we going with this, Rob? Well, let's talk about colonial rule. So, the interesting thing about the crafters of all the laws of the world is they use very specific vocabulary to say one thing when they really mean something else. So, when we look at the word colonialization, apparently in 2025, no country is considered to be actively ruling over other territories in a colonial sense. How odd that is. Just so strange. It's like, not ruling over. I mean, what? Okay, so then what do we call that? Well, we call it non-self-governing territories. These are territories that have not yet achieved full independence. What's that really mean? They're not free. So let's take a look, according to the United Nations, on where all these non-self-governing territories are. So you can come over here, and I'm not going to belabor a lot of it. Please look through it, because what I am saying to you, what I am saying to America is that it's just time. It's just time. Did you hear me? It's time. It's time for the G8 and all countries that have any type of bind, any type of restriction, any type of obligation. And the funny thing here is, I love how with France we go as French Polynesian. All right, well, is that Haiti? But what about France and South Africa? Everywhere, every single place that one of the G8s has its sticky little paws, it needs to stop. It needs to release. And what I want to say to them is it's real simple. Here in America, sometimes we don't really take the time to understand our Constitution and what it is. So what Rob wants to do is tell all these countries, and America, the funny thing is they, this again is a political document from the UN, because where's Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico has been a territory of the United States. The people of Puerto Rico do not actually have the same functional rights as Americans in the 50 states. But if they want those rights, if they want to exercise upon their rights, they are free from Puerto Rico to go to the U.S. and they're instantly granted those rights. So then if you can make the trip over the ocean, then what's the problem with the United States giving either the choice of freedom to Puerto Rico or the people in Puerto Rico when they're born the natural right to have the rights that the American citizenships have on their birth, right? And so this whole document in itself is just not really probably indicative of all the places in the world where we have what is called colonial rule, or what we have is another person putting their head or their boot on somebody's head or repressing them. So what I say to America is I think it's time for the G8 to release all its commitments to all other countries that are not directly of its own sphere. The United Kingdom is an island. It doesn't need to have its little governing fingers anywhere else. China, same thing. You don't need to, go where you're not wanted. Russia, you don't need to go. All these countries need to just heed the call of freedom. And what I'd say to them is not only to the addition of the call of freedom, but they need to ensure the Bill of Rights to every single human being in the world through the countries where those people live. And so one of the things that I think is just amazing is sometimes here in America, we're very focused on the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and these kind of things. But the Bill of Rights, as everyone can read on their own, I'm not going to read them, is really more important because these rights constitute the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, our Bill of Rights. So let's just take a quick thing for Robert, what I would think would be great for every human being in the world. And then some of these things are probably not going to be the exact same thing for everybody else, but the basic foundations, the tenets of freedom, that's what we need to do. We need to, as America, light the torch of liberty, show the world the beacon of hope, and give people the ability, they don't all have to immigrate here. I mean, come on, if they could just stay in their own countries and have the same freedoms, what's the problem? That's what America should be advocating for. So the first article relative to representation is not really important to a lot of other people, but, because I don't think as a part of the Bill of Rights, you have to change how a country has been governing itself. What I'm saying is this should be a reflection of a subset of standards that are put into law with whatever respect to their country's laws that ensure these rights for every single citizen in their country, whether they're the minority or the majority. So, Article 1 and Article 2 really doesn't need to be there, but I think Article 3, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion. It's kind of funny on that. Here in America, you frequently hear, we're Judeo-Christian nation, and we're Judeo-Christian nation. But, I don't believe on the census it actually, asks your religion. And I think even if it did ask your religion, I think a lot of people would leave it off. But I don't know how you could be two religions in one. But our government's not supposed to be in the establishment of religion or really in the endorsement or support of any religion. But, that's kind of changed over the last 20 years. 4, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Yeah, why not? Why shouldn't all citizens have the right to have arms just in case? No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house. The right of the people to secure in their persons, houses, papers against unreasonable searches to not just be stopped on the street. No person shall be held to answer for a capital, otherwise infamous crime unless they have an indictment of a grand jury of their peers. These things are important. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. Also, I think in that regard, it should be more, the belief that somebody's free today or innocent in America for our courts is kind of a joke. You're presumed guilty by the start, and it's really your job to prove that you're innocent. I think we need to do better on that. And then you just got all these other little things, and they're not like out of there. They're just, look at this is what every American is born to believe. So that if we're born to believe that here, excuse me, I apologize, then how can America stand by and just say that this kind of destruction and this kind of damage is necessary? How do we sit here and justify what if any American sneezes at another American, it's a court battle and you owe me money? Or if I get in a car accident and you hurt me, you get a court battle and you owe me more money. And so what I'm saying is that I believe that all people in the world should be free. It's not just free Palestine. It's free everyone. Free everyone. Where's this idea that a few people control the collective nature, outcome, and moral accountability and culpability of a group of people. One person decides all this. We know the countries that are doing this. We don't have to speak their names. It's not just one country in the Middle East. There's other countries. There's countries in South America that are preparing in the same nature. You know, for all the money that we spend on bombs, missiles, and planes, and submarines and tanks, imagine if we took all that money and all we did every day was focus on helping people become free and helping free people support themselves. Right? That's what I believe in. I believe that it's time for the world, the GA as a whole, to release France, Europe, England, America, anywhere that your system is not granting those people the right of self-governance. It's time to let them be free. Free Palestine, free everyone. Free Palestine, free everyone. I'm Rob. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.